Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for my client Josh's vlog. And Josh is a BJJ competitor who I do his strength training, right? I do his strength training. So, on its conjugate this week, we went with the floor press, right? We went with the floor press here, and we went with a conventional deadlift. Because we need to get a baseline on some of these basic lifts. Now, the thing you guys will notice, all his pressing is close grip. He's got kind of beat up shoulders. He's got beat up knees right now just from all his BJJ because he takes it very seriously. Again, he does do tournaments. He does a lot of rolling. So he's got some aches and pains. He's beat up a little. And so part of my job is to work around that and to help strengthen those areas. So there's a lot of stuff we're going to have to do. We've got to build his upper back to get those shoulders healthier. There's stuff we have to do there. Same thing. I've got to get his hamstrings stronger to help with his knees. We're going to do a lot of box squatting for him. Right? He's going to get an SSB also to have at this gym. But we're going to do a lot of box squatting because we have to. Because again, for people who've got beat up knees, that knee slide, in my experience as a coach, is a problem. It is a problem. We've got to fix that. His upper back is weak. It's just one reason he runs into the shoulder issues that he has. So we'll keep him with close grip benching. We'll do mostly box squatting for lower body work. We'll do the things that we can do to work around these areas and to strengthen these areas and to continue to get him stronger for his sport. And he's got to continue to work on body composition, all of these things. So as you guys saw here, we're doing benching. We're taking the dumbbells out because they actually inflame his shoulders a little bit for the dumbbell chest presses. So we're going to do some flat benching. I'm going to start working in more floor pressing for him coming up. We're going to start doing a lot more floor pressing. He has access to a football bar, I found out after kind of this training week. So we're going to be using these things. We're going to use these things. So for his back work on these days, you guys notice we do inverted rows first. And then I have him do axle bar rows, which you guys know I'm a fan of the fat bar work. And I've said before, for grapplers and fighters, wrestlers, I really like the fat bar. Really like the fat bar for pulling. And again, the reason for that should be obvious. People who need to grapple, think about the extra grip training we get from that. Think about the forearm training we get from that. All right, this is good. We want this. Deadlifting, and again, his lifts are not super strong right now. We need to get him a lot stronger. But we've got to shore up these weak links. We've got to work around these injuries and inflammation and aches and pains that he has. We have to rehab these things. We've got to build him up. But that doesn't mean we don't do the max effort lifts, but we keep them very conservative for him right now, especially his knees have taken a beating. We have to be very conservative with some of this stuff. And one of the things that we're finding, is like this week here, he's doing some of the good mornings, but he's like, they're inflaming my shoulders a bit doing the extra time. And so until I get an SSB, what can we do? I'm like, well, we'll do Romanian deadlifts. I really wanted him on a glute ham raise, but his knees can't handle it to the degree that I would want, right? They can't handle it to the degree that I want. So we're doing a lot of band pull-throughs at the moment. We're going to be doing RDLs. It's the stuff we're going to be doing later in the week because, again, we've got to work around his shoulders. We've got to work around his knees. And we've got to strengthen these things so that we don't have these pains. We have to shore up these areas with an athlete like this. He's, again, in a contact sport. He's in a combat sport. These are the things that occur. And this is stuff that, a lot of you can use out there, because you work with a lot of different clients, a lot of you. And that's one of the things I've noticed a lot of people who are coaches and trainers watch my vlogs. They watch these client vlogs because they're like, I get ideas from my clients. Okay? And this is an example. So you take his case, we've got to do different movements to work around this stuff. But in the meantime, we can do these pull-throughs. Works the entire posterior chain. Helps build his low back up. All right, we can still work these areas, but we've got to work around his knees right now. We've got to work around his shoulders. This is stuff we can do with the equipment he has. Like I said, I really want him on a glute ham raise to get those hamstrings stronger, but we're working with what he can. And in the meantime, we're going to have to box squat. We're going to have to do the things we can do. Speed work. He's got some bands at the gym, so we use the bit of band tension that he has. So speed bench, we do have bands. Like I said, is it the sort of band tension I run or some of my really advanced guys run? No, absolutely not. We work with what he's got. Now, we did the dumbbell presses today, but he did let me know they're hurting, so we're going to be taking these out next week. I'm like, well, we don't need to do them. If they hurt, it's not necessary. He's like, can I still build my chest without dumbbells? I'm like, of course we can. We can build your pecs with floor presses. We can do it with pause benching. We can do it with close grip benching. It can be done, guys. People have these weird ideas that we can't develop a muscle unless we get the very best stretch position exercise. But what if you can't do it? What if either you don't have the equipment? That's oftentimes the case. The best exercises, people don't have the equipment. I mean, I think the reverse hyper and the glute ham raise are two of the greatest exercises ever. How many people have access to them? You know, we're going to work with some football bar stuff. We're going to work with more floor work. That is what I've had luck with. I had a guy, one of my guys who was active duty in the military, who had 2 impinged shoulders, both of them. We had him do floor presses with a football bar while we rebuilt those areas up. He eventually was able to bench press well past 3 plates again later. But it was, career-related injuries. Right? He did, I guess, like Navy search and rescue and got dropped in the water out of helicopters. So you got to work around this stuff with people. Because not everyone that you coach is there just to get big and strong or a regular gym rat. You get fighters, like Josh here. Or, again, I had Dylan there who did Navy stuff, and it was an actual field job. He got beat up doing it, And so, that's part of the problem, throwing people out of perfectly good helicopters and airplanes. They get beat up doing that. People get beat up in combat sports. They get beat up in contact sports in general. You got to work around it. All right, the work was similar though that day, but we're changing it up next week to work around his shoulders. Speed work on the lower. Speed squats against bands. Now those look nice. I'm happy with those. All right, that looked good. We got speed pulls. And again, we can do these. Speed pulls are okay on his knees because of the knee angle. All right, so we're in a good place there. And again, nice and fast here. Like speed work looks decent, right? We can tell he's an athlete. It starts to show when we get to some of the dynamic stuff. This one isn't as clean as that first set, but the speed squats, the speed bench, he moves pretty quick. Right? And here we're doing some Romanian deadlifts. His knees and shoulders can tolerate these. Hey, now we've got a winner. RDLs are phenomenal for building hamstrings. So, we can do this. Combine the RDL with the pull-throughs. What do we have? We now have a way to develop the hamstrings in the posterior chain for our accessory work for this athlete whose knees are beat up currently and recovering. Combine that with the speed box squats. Again, easy on the knees. This puts us in a good place. We've got movements he can do until we can add more stuff, which we will do. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.